Are you planning or hoping to migrate to Australia for permanent residency? Like, permanent residency is your end goal, but you are not sure what region should I go to, what area should I go to. As we all know, Australia is a really big country, but you're not sure where to go. Keep watching this video as I'll dissect the different regions and what is your best option, what's the best bet in 2022 that would help you achieve your PR goals. Yes, keep on watching to find out. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lola Lolita. If you're seeing me for the very first time, welcome. Today we'll be talking about best places in Australia for PR in the year 2022. PR meaning permanent residency. Okay, that is the goal of so many people. Yeah, and if you're just joining us, welcome back. And I feel like a lot of people, yes, when you travel, like, a lot of people are looking for greener pastures, and let's not kid ourselves, let's not lie to ourselves. You want a better life for yourself, and you're just thinking, what is the easiest way for me to achieve that? What's the best option available for me? I'll be dissecting all of that in this video, so do not go anywhere. Okay, about best places in Australia for PR in year 2022, and the first place would be the top on my list. So this disclaimer before I continue, I am not a migration agent. I am just someone that does a bit of research and brings you interesting videos. Okay, videos that I think might be useful or informative, that you're able to learn one or two things from there. So I am not a migration agent. All of the opinions in this video are totally mine and mine alone. Okay, so do your research, Google, and find out more on your own. As I always say, I'm happy to answer your questions. It's not a problem. Send me a DM, send me an email. I would reply you definitely. On that note, let's get right into this video. But before we do, if you're still here and you have not subscribed, please do it. Do not keep watching this video without subscribing. Okay, click on that subscribe button. Yes, now let's continue. You're ready to get into the rest of the video. Yeah, so the top on my list would be, I'm looking down, I have notes here. Okay, so I don't miss any of the important details for you. The top on my list will be South Australia. And why is South Australia like at the top of my list? South Australia is at the top of my list because they have their occupation list is long. I had a look myself. It is really long. You'll find something for everybody or almost everybody on there. So if you don't know, occupation list is there's a list that each region in Australia or each region they have like an occupation list where they put, okay, we are looking for someone that has this kind of skills. If you have this kind of skills, apply and you'll be able to get your permanent residency. Something that's kind of a layman's term for what the occupation list does. So you need to, before you decide to study, if you want to study here, make sure whatever region you decide to go, please go on their occupation list. Occupation list changes. I think they change it yearly. It depends. They had some will I say career, or they had some professions. Yeah, let's use they had some professions and they take some out also. So you need to go on the go on the website for the migration website for the region you're going to. So let's say you're interested in moving to South Australia. Yeah, go there, look at the occupation list. Based on that, then try and pick a course to study. If your end goal is PR, like I said, that is why you're watching this video and you're still here. Yes, so South Australia has a really long occupation list, which means you would the chances that you'll find something there that you've already studied or you're already studying. Let's say peradventure you came in and you didn't have a look at the occupation list before you came in. South Australia is like a really good option, and that one is, it's really good. They have something, another reason why I like South Australia is they have something called long long residency pathway, which means basically, let's say you've lived in South Australia, let's say you studied there, right? You studied there 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? And by the time you finish, you find a job, you get your 485 visa, which is post-study visa, right? And you're still in Australia, in South, you did all of that in South Australia. So by the time you are done with that, your PR hasn't, like, it doesn't look like you are getting it. They have the option of, like, let's say you've lived in South Australia for 5 years, I'm not sure how many years, either 3 or 5 years. Let's say you've lived in South Australia, we're just gonna keep, I think it's 5 years. You've lived in South Australia for 5 years, then there's a way you can apply. They call it long residency pathway to PR. Then they will consider giving you PR because you've stayed in South Australia for a long time. Yes, so that is really good. So that is one of the reasons why I feel like South Australia is like at the top of my list, because let's say you don't even get it via the graduate means where you study and everything. If you don't get it that way, then at least, you know, to a level there's an option of you getting it based on the fact that you've stayed there for a couple of years. Okay, all these things I'm saying, there are definitely conditions under them. They have conditions on them. Okay, the next place on my list would be Tasmania. Tasmania will be like the next favorite place if you are trying to migrate to Australia. The residency pathway they have here, they have 491, they have 190. But things are changing now. So the next financial year starts in July. So based off of that, things are changing. There are changes they are making by the beginning of the financial year, and I was kind of waiting to film this video. I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna film it anyway, and if changes happen, I'll definitely let you guys know. So Tasmania is another place, but things are getting, I'm not gonna lie, I live in Tasmania, right? Things are getting really competitive. A lot of people came in, and I think these changes have a lot to do with the fact that, like, 2 years ago when I moved here, 2 years, 3 years ago, a lot of people started rushing into Tasmania because it was the only place at that time that was like, come in, study 1 year, and then you can apply for permanent residency. But now they are changing the rules because it looks like they have too many people and not enough jobs, or they don't need that many people anymore. So based on that, they're kind of revising the rules guiding permanent residency pathway. But Tasmania is still another place to consider. The occupation list is, it's okay, it's not too short. Yeah, so we have South Australia top of the list, followed by Tasmania. Next place would be regional New South Wales. Please do not mistake what I'm saying. Regional New South Wales is different from New South Wales. Okay, regional New South Wales regional New South Wales will be places like Dubbo. Dubbo is related to, it's in Orana. Orana is part of Orange, I think. So Dubbo, places like Wollongong, a few other places like that. Those are like the regional areas. So even if you are coming in, if your goal is to come in as an international student, do not, please, cancel Sydney as part of where you want to study if your end goal is to get PR, if you want to stay back in Australia after your study. But if you're just coming, you just want to get the degree and get out, you can go anywhere. But if your end goal is to get permanent residency at the end of your study, then definitely go to regional New South Wales, because they have a few options now. They have what they call stream 1, is get a job in your field in that region with valid skill assessment. So there are different bodies that do skill assessment. For engineers, there's Engineers Australia. For other courses, there's VETASYS. For, it depends on what course you're studying. So you need to find out what course, what body is in charge of skills assessment for the course you are studying. Then do your skills assessment. So you need to do all these visas. You need a valid skills assessment. It needs to be competent. Like, let's say you come in with a foreign degree, the Australian body, the Australian educational body, they need to verify, like, okay, your degree is up to par, it's okay, we accept it here. So that's what the skill assessment is for, majorly, especially if you're coming in from abroad, okay, into Australia. Then the next stream is graduate from regional university in New South Wales. That's why I said you need to go to a regional place. Graduate from regional university in New South Wales, that's stream 2. So if you studied in a regional university in New South Wales, then you might be eligible. You'll be eligible for the stream 2 way. There's University of Wollongong, Newcastle University, Southern Cross University. So those are some of the examples of the university in New South Wales that are in the regional area. So if you are studying, some of them would have branches in Sydney, right? Do not opt for the Sydney branch, go to the regional area. Okay, so that is stream 2. There's stream 3. You don't need a job in your field if your occupation is on their list. So like I said at the beginning of this video, there's occupational lists. If your what's it called, if your degree is on the occupational list, then because some of them specify, okay, you did a bachelor's of BSc in finance, right? You need to work as a finance officer. They specify, okay, that's what they want. You need to work in your designated study field for you to be able to apply for permanent residence. But some of them, like stream 3 in regional New South Wales, is saying that you don't need a job in your field, in the occupation you study. So let's say you did finance, you might be working as, I don't know, a project manager or something else, right? But as long as the occupation, the degree you had, as long as the degree you had is on the occupation list, then you can apply to study. You can apply for PR. So I feel like I should have even said it at the beginning. We have different streams of PR. There are different streams of PR. There's 190. There's 190 is permanent residency straight. Then there's 491. 491 is a 5 years visa. It's a graduate, skilled graduate visa. It's a 5 years visa where after 3 years, then you are eligible to apply for permanent residency in Australia. But it's kind of guaranteed that once you get the 491 and you meet a threshold, so there's a threshold of how much you're supposed to make every financial year. That's 53,900 Australian dollars before tax is what you're expected to make. If you make that 3 years consecutively, then you can apply for permanent residency on the 491 visa. So those are the like 2 most common ways to get visa, especially if you study here. So there's 190, there's 491. Okay, of course the competition with 190 is usually more, so people mostly opt for 491 because it's kind of, the chances are higher that you get called to get the visa. Next on my list, so we've talked about Southern Australia, we've talked about Tasmania, we've talked about regional New South Wales. I'm just trying to open my book. If you would. Next on my list would be Western Australia. So they have their occupation list. So with Western Australia, they are kind of picky. It looks like to a level you have to finish your degree in Western Australia. I had a look at their website also this morning. What I would say, don't worry, I'll leave all these links in the description. What I would say for Western Australia is go on the occupational list again, like I said, because some of the courses I saw in Western Australia, they specified there that minimum degree should be bachelor's. Okay, so let's say you want to do nursing. This is just an example. I can't remember the ones I saw. Let's say it's nursing, right? Western Australia kind of specified, okay, you have to have a bachelor's in nursing. As we know, I talk a lot about TAFE, technical and further education, on my channel. That's like the polytechnic here. So if you want to do, for example, nursing in Western Australia, make sure you go on the occupational list and see what they said. The minimum requirement is, for some of the courses they said bachelor's, whereas for some of the courses they are willing to accept TAFE, like diploma or even certificate 3 or certificate 4. Certificate 3 and 4 are lower than diploma. So you see what I mean there. You need to go on the website first, check what course you want to study, what is their requirement, are they accepting. If you decide to go to Western Australia and you study at one of their TAFEs, are you eligible for PR, or you're just wasting your time and your money? Because some of the courses, they started at bachelor's. They said they want people that did bachelor's in Western Australia, by the way. And then some of them, they accepted everything from diploma, certificate 3, certificate 4, they accepted diploma, they accepted bachelor's, they accepted masters. So obviously they're saying they want people that did bachelors, they would accept masters. But if they say they want just people that did, starting from people that did bachelors, that means they will not accept your diploma course or your certificate 3 or certificate 4. So you need to check on that. That is their list. So Western Australia, they have a bit of occupation there on their list, but Southern Australia looks like it's the one that has the longest list. What else? There's ACT. ACT is where the capital is, the Capital Territory. There's not much occupation on their list, so that would be like at the it's not like the next, it's kind of next after Western Australia, right? Then we have Northern Territory. I think if it's on their list, you can apply, so you need to check up on that. And I'm just gonna put it here. If you are here up to now, you are the real OG. Thank you for staying. And I'm just gonna say something here. As I said earlier, I am not a migration agent. The least preferred place, personally, from what I've done the research, is Queensland. Like the least preferred region. I'm not saying do not study there, but do your research, because it looks like what I've noticed is a lot of graduates, like Queensland does not really care about their graduates in the sense of PR pathway, if that makes any sense. It's just a situation of come in, study, that's it. We are not really interested in letting you stay here forever. Or so it looks like the other regions are more favorable to international students with getting your PR, whereas for Queensland is like, nope, I don't care about you. You get what I mean? But not in those literal terms, but that is what it looks like, because most, I feel like, I'm not even exaggerating, I feel like 80 to 90% of the people that actually studied in Queensland, they had to leave. Because a lot of people, you study somewhere and it's like, oh, I really lived there for 3-4 years or 2 years, and I would like to make this my own forever, like my base. But you don't have that option with Queensland. A lot of the graduates end up migrating from Queensland to other regions of Australia just in pursuit of this dream of getting permanent residency. So please consider that. So Queensland will be like my least favorable place. Do your research and see if there's any pathway for Queensland. But yeah, I have talked, but that is all for this video. Okay, I hope this video has been helpful. I hope I didn't confuse you. Leave me questions in the comment section. And yes, if you've enjoyed this video up to this point, if you've watched up to this point, you are the real OG. At least you didn't miss that last point I just said about Queensland. And if you did not watch up to here, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. But yeah, thank you also so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Click on that subscribe button, guys. We are getting there. We're halfway. We're almost at by the time you're watching this video, we should have hit 400 plus by God's grace. So I'm trying to get to 500 before the end of June. Okay, I need your help. Please click on that subscribe button. Click on the subscribe button, smash it. You're gonna hear a loud noise now that's reminding you that you should do what? Smash my subscribe button, okay? Alright, thank you also so much for tuning in. If you've watched up to here, thank you. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a massive thumbs up. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hi Lolita, baby girl. We'll be seeing you all in my next video. I hope you found this video informative, insightful, helpful, useful, one way or the other, okay? Thank you so much. I love you all. Bye guys.